Welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast, where wealth is energy, success is a mindset, and abundance is your birthright. I am Danielle Amos, your host and mentor, here to help you unlock prosperity, embody confidence, and manifest a life you love. Take a breath, align with your truth, and let's manifest millions. Welcome to this episode of the Mystic Millionaire podcast. My name is Danielle Amos and I am your host. I'm grateful and honored to bring a guest into the studio today. Her name is Alex Cattoni. Alex is the founder of Copy Posse. You'll follow her on Instagram, and she has created quite the stir, if you will. She started a YouTube channel where she was talking about what she didn't like in the marketing world and voicing her opinion, and then created a following, the Posse, the Copy Posse, and she teaches people about marketing and copywriting. And more importantly, she shows her clients and teaches them and empowers them to find their voice. We talk about that inside the podcast, as well as AI. I ask her opinion about first of all, I asked her if she uses AI, and then what she thought about AI and if it could be helpful, and when to use it and when not to use it in your business. And then I asked her if she thought AI was consciousness. So Alex used to work for Mindvalley, so she's very well versed in the personal development world, and now helps coaches and beyond business owners really with copy. But I love her perception. I love this conversation. And again, in the behind the scenes, we go deeper into exploring her past working with Mindvalley, but also in copywriting and how she serves her clients now. So enjoy, go follow her on Instagram. And I want to thank you again for being here. And thanks to our subscribers who believe in the Millionaire podcast, the Mystic Millionaire podcast, enough to support the subscription. So enjoy the show and thank you. So Alex, welcome to the Mystic Millionaire podcast. Thank you for being here.
I'm so happy to be here.
So you've got the Copy Posse.
Yeah.
And you shared that although what you do is copywriting and marketing, what you really do is help and empower people to find their voice, their authentic voice. Why is that so important to you?
Yeah, it's so important to me because I think I'm still discovering myself. As I was mentioning earlier, was like a very goofy, loud, self-expressed child. And then like many children, girls, I think especially, I went through a phase where I just completely muted myself to be less loud, less, chaotic, less whatever, opinionated, less sassy. And I can think back to times in my life where I just, like, if I could have just disappeared and been a wallflower and like had nobody look at me and listen to me, I would have. And that translated into my work. I mean, going and getting the job at Mindvalley was incredible, but it was all behind the scenes. I could just be like a smart girl and get stuff done and get recognition, which always felt really good, but I didn't have to be front and center. And then when I left Mindvalley in 2011 to start my freelance marketing consulting company, again, it was behind the scenes. It was elevating and amplifying the voices of others through marketing. It's always been my gift. It's always been what I loved, or what I love to do. And in 2019, I just had this sort of moment where I realized I was not in alignment, I think because I had this calling to use my voice, but didn't know what that looked like. And then I was also extremely jaded by the marketing industry, and I had so many strong opinions about it. But the voice in my head just kept saying, well, then do something about it. Like, you're seeing things you don't like in this industry, but you're staying behind the scenes and you're not speaking up about it. So in 2019, I started my YouTube channel, and that was so deeply uncomfortable.
What's it called?
It's just my name.
Okay.
Alex Cattoni. Yeah. Because I didn't even have the Copy Posse at that moment.
Mhm.
And I didn't have a strategy. A lot of people ask me, they're like, oh, what was your YouTube strategy? I was like, to just make a video without wanting to turn inside out. Like, I was just so deeply uncomfortable. And I was good at performing. Like, my first few videos, I think they're terrible. Everyone's like, you're fine. But I remember just being so nervous, and more nervous about the putting myself out there, and more nervous about the judgment, and more nervous about what the boys in the industry would think, and more nervous about what people would say. And it just turned into this absolute incredible journey of me speaking about what matters to me, and through that process getting more confident with sharing like what I really think, what I really feel. And like, it's almost like this integration happened where I used to feel like who I was in business was very different than who I was personally. Like, any of my friends would tell you that I was loud and goofy and like loved cracking jokes and laughing and dancing and being weird. But then anyone at work would just be like, oh, Alex is
serious.
just all business and like gets it done. And that just felt so to me. I felt like I was just trying to be someone I wasn't. And so this process starting my YouTube channel became sort of this like integration of like who is who I am. And that feels really good. And the Copy Posse sort of came a year after that, when I really realized that I was striking a chord with what I was talking about, and that I wasn't the only one who felt that way about marketing. And so the posse really became this movement, this representation of other business owners, marketers, women and men, but mostly women, people who really just wanted to own their voice, start a business, do marketing in a way that felt good.
Amazing. How have you, and maybe I imagine you help your clients with this, get over what people say and the judgment? Because being vulnerable, being your authentic self, and not fitting inside a box
Yeah.
will get some feedback. So how do you deal with that? And how do you help your clients deal with it?
Yeah.
And is it something that we just have to accept?
This is what I hate. I was talking to someone about this today, actually. We were talking about different people in the industry and about different women in the industry, and about how you always hear the negative about the women. Oh, I hear she's kind of a bitch, or like, I hear she's kind of mean, or it's like, I'm like, fuck that. Like, no one would ever say that about a man who was super direct, knew what he wanted, communicated directly. Like, I think, and it pains me to say this, but I think a woman stepping into her power will always be deeply terrifying to many people. And I still struggle. I'm a people pleaser. I'm a recovering people pleaser. And it does freaking bug me that people say things, and that I ruffle feathers, but that is exactly why I started my business. I mean, my mission is to de-douchify the internet. And I say that because it's sassy, because I'm sick of douchey marketing, because I'm sick of, bros saying how things should go. And I knew I was going to ruffle some feathers. I've had people tell me that they were vocally outspoken about not liking what I was doing in the beginning. I appreciate those men who did say that to me and apologized. And yeah, I mean, it sucks, but I think at the end of the day, polarity equals popularity, and playing it safe is not what people need right now. It's not what women need right now. And I keep remembering why I'm doing this. And truly, it's to give permission to people who have always felt deeply uncomfortable being themselves and sharing their voice and sharing what matters to them. And so I just lean into that.
That's amazing.
Yes.
It feels like we don't have to focus on like the naysayers, and instead focus on the people who do need to hear your message, and
Exactly.
and kind of ignore, and wherever we put our energy, that will grow.
Yeah.
If I'm teaching my own coaching to
And it gives
myself.
permission to other people to do it too. I think that's the thing I realized is like, I know I ruffled feathers in the industry because I came out guns blazing talking about direct response marketing, which was so owned by men. I mean, you go to YouTube and you type in some of these things that I'm teaching on, and there's not a single woman there. If I decided that I wanted to talk about social media or anything that's like a little bit on the like the softer community building skills of marketing, I'm sure everyone would have been fine with that. But I came out really claiming to be an experienced voice in the industry, which obviously I had over a decade of experience to show for it. And I think it pissed a lot of people off, and I'm kind of happy about it, and it's just been an evolution of it. And I think as women, especially, like, it's hard, I know, for many to shine bright and to be, the tall poppy and to brag about and that's the words we use. We say, oh, like if I'm talking about my, success, I'm bragging. It's like, no, you're actually shining your light so that women are like, okay,
it's possible
for me too.
Yeah.
And I think we all need to do that for each other.
Agreed. Yeah. So let's bring AI into the conversation. Do you use it?
Yep.
Yep.
Here's the thing, right? Nothing is yes, no, good, evil, black or white. AI is an incredible tool. It is an incredible technology. I think where it gets dangerous is when people start outsourcing all of their critical thinking, empathy, connection, trust building activities to generative AI. It's so clear that we are in a major trust recession. And this isn't a feeling. There's something called the Edelman Trust Barometer, which measures public trust in key societal areas, media, government, of course, and different things. And right now, trust is the lowest it's ever been. And that is a byproduct of a lot of things, of course. But part of the trend that's happening is the market is getting savvier. They're getting smarter. They are getting more skeptical. And they are looking for a reason to count you out before they look for a reason to trust you. And so old marketing used to be that you were starting at a baseline of trust. Like believe the good in people. Everyone's cool, right?
Until they break your trust.
Until they break your trust, right? And so marketing was a lot easier because you didn't have to climb that mountain first. Now everyone is operating from a place of distrust. I mean, think about that, right? Like someone comes up to you in the street and you're immediately like, whoa, like what are you trying to do here? Like we are in constant fight or flight, back up, like back off mode. And when we think about how that pertains to marketing and business, there are really only 3 ways that we as business owners can build trust with our customers and with our audience.
Okay.
The first is the content we create, right? That is now content in its purest form. Images, videos, text is dirt cheap because now anybody can go create it with AI. So it's, to me, really important that we're not just completely wiping that trust touch point off the table and instead going, okay, well, now that content is cheap, where do I need to be focusing? And to me, it's on connection and it's on providing more context. And AI has no context. It doesn't know who you are. It doesn't know who you just talked to. It doesn't know that you've been doing these podcasts today. It doesn't know you, even though it's really good at acting like it does. And so people get so fooled by it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and will there be a point where it can know you? Like how much consciousness is in it?
TBD.
I know.
TBD.
Okay.
But I just think that, you'll hear the argument from people saying like, well, nobody really notices that it's AI. They might not notice it right now at first glance. If you all of a sudden disappear, if your heart and soul and your empathy and your connection and the way that you relate to your audience all of a sudden just kind of vaguely disappears and is replaced by some like soulless version of you, they're going to feel it.
Yeah.
They will. And so content, I think, is something that people need to be really careful about when it comes to using AI. And also, like, let's be clear, what is the end game there? Because you could just continue creating more and more and more content and everybody else does the exact same thing.
Yeah.
That is a race to the bottom.
Yeah.
So content is one thing. The other thing is communications. So the messages that you send to your customers, how do you communicate with them, whether it's on calls, whether it's through DMs, whether it's through voice notes, if you try to completely replace yourself in that process, that's another major trust touch point that is being, completely removed from the equation. And then the third thing is customer experience and consumption of your programs, memberships, events, podcasts. What is their experience and what is the transformation that they are receiving as a result of that? And so a policy that we have at the Posse is we will use AI for so many things, for operations, internal systems, to make our content more accessible to different people in different languages, to speed up analyzing data, to summarize, key talking points from meetings. I mean, there are so many incredible use cases for AI. I just think everyone who runs a business and who has customers needs to get really clear on where that line is and what they're willing to replace with AI because of this idea of a trust recession. And I think by replacing yourself in those three areas, you're essentially breaking trust and making yourself completely obsolete and completely forgettable.
Yeah, that's huge. I've never heard that term, trust recession.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good, very accurate for what we're
And we all
experiencing.
feel it.
Yeah, we do. And I do believe that I would agree with you that people know, they can feel when it's not your voice. And for me, it comes back to the energy. Like there's no energy behind it, or it's lacking the intention. Because how can an AI, I mean, you can give it, I guess, intention, but it doesn't have that energy behind it. So it doesn't matter what, but the words are one thing.
Yeah.
Because it matters less than the humanness behind it.
Yeah. And there's still a time and a place for, very transactional information-based emails that, if you're recapping something or, podcast show notes, summary or something like that AI is great for. Like,
or Instagram, like here's the link, like through ManyChat, we use it.
Totally,
It's
absolutely.
and it's like obvious.
Yes. It's obvious. You're actually, in that case, making your content accessible exactly when your customers are asking for it. So I love using those sort of automation tools because, hey, they're not waiting a single second. They can get what they want right when they want it, which is amazing. And I even take it one step further. And in my ManyChat, I identify it as a bot and we have fun with it. You'll get a message. It's like, hey, I'm Benny, the Posse bot.
I love it.
Here's the link that Alex wanted to send you. And it's just because I really believe in full transparency. I just was offline for 3 weeks and I review every single piece of copy that has my name in it or is written in my voice. And I know a lot of marketers don't do that. And I have a team with 2 copywriters. And I said to my team, I'm going offline for 3 weeks. Everyone knows that I'm not working because I'm very vocally broadcasting it on my social channels. I'm not going to send an email with my name on it and pretend that I'm not working, and I'm saying that. So my team did like a little email list takeover and they wrote the emails and they signed it off as them. And so to me, I just think it's really important that we're paying attention to making sure that our actions align with how we're showing up. And those are the little clues that people look for to see whether or not you're in integrity.
And I think it's such a simple thing to do. You might have to get a little creative, like your team had to do an email takeover.
Yeah.
Or call the ManyChat out like a bot. I love that. I'm going to add that.
Do it.
We make sure it's really obvious. We don't try to hide it at all.
I don't think people know now.
Yeah, totally.
I thought people knew.
Yeah.
And then people start responding, oh my God, Alex. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they think it's me. And that broke my heart. It wasn't.
I have my team when they're in my DMs, they have to say,
same.
This team, it drives me nuts because I'll get a text and I'm like, before, that wasn't me. And then my friend's like, yeah, we thought so. I'm like, okay, now everything is initialed. Yeah, it doesn't work otherwise.
Which is just so great though.
And we need, if the DMs are busy, it's okay to have other people in there.
Yeah.
I believe, as long as they identify themselves.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I have a community support team and a lot of people don't even answer their DMs. I will answer every single DM that's sent to me. But it doesn't mean that I'm the one answering it. But, we have a process. If it's, let's say it's you and you went to my general tab and it was obvious that we had met in person and that there was a relationship there, my team would just slide it over to primary for me. And, we have a system for it.
Yeah.
But I love this conversation because, to quote my friend Ryan Levesque, he said something that really, I just think about it all the time. He said, we're entering an era where the messenger is more important than the message, because a message can be faked, duped, stolen, AI baked, but you as the messenger in your business can never be replaced. And so there's a million other people out there who are offering the same thing to the same audience, right? Like, I'm not the only person who's teaching. I mean, God knows I'm not the only person teaching marketing on the internet, but I'm the only one who's doing it the way I'm doing it. And so I think it's just really important to not remove the messenger from the message, because that's what people want right now more than anything.
Yeah. Huge. What do you think? This is off topic and maybe not the area of expertise, but I'm curious on your about your opinion.
Yeah.
AI being consciousness, and how in my industry in coaching, people are turning to their AIs to ask for coaching and to have conversations. And I'm seeing a stream of belief about how they believe that they're evolving their AI. And I've played with it a bit to see what will come back and how it sees me and how it views the universe of truths.
Right.
And riffing. Any thoughts on that?
Oh, I mean, I love this question and my answer is just like, so my opinion, I don't really know shit.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that AI can have a consciousness, because it's not a soul. It is a language model that is really good at gathering information and mimicking and generating content that is probably pretty dang good. You know, I think when you think about all the information that exists online and everything that's feeding it and training it, I think it could be, let's say, better than the average therapist. However, it's just another form of self-soothing, I think, in a way, because your AI might ask you a question that it, deduced from however much content it's pulling from in this area of mental health or guidance or personal development or coaching or whatever. And it can ask you a question that might prompt you to then think differently and answer a question. Okay, great.
There's
Fine.
value there.
I mean, yeah, of course, there's value there. I think where it gets a little dangerous is when we start completely abandoning that very basic human need for connection with another human.
Connection, yeah.
Because while you can ask it these existential questions and be like, whoa, that was crazy. Like, AI asked me this and I've never thought of it that way before. If I'm in a period of my life where I'm, planning to be a parent, do I want AI giving me parenting advice, or do I want to talk to someone who's had kids? If I'm in a period of my life where I'm going through a divorce, do I want to ask AI what I should do about it, or do I want to talk to someone who's been through it? Yeah. So I think the value is in the connection, the experience, and the trust that comes with working with a real human who has your best interests at heart. Whereas AI is, like I said, very good at mimicking and can completely make stuff up. That's what it does by its very nature. It's generative. It predicts language patterns and will completely lie to you. And yet people are like, wow. And it's like lying, completely lying about something. And you don't know if it's accurate or
I like
not.
the word mimicking. That's,
yeah,
good.
And like anyone can do that, right? Like I could go watch your videos and then just mimic you and be like, I'm a coach.
Yeah.
But
that's what people do.
Right. Exactly. But I just think it's interesting in that way. It's like you can use it for, I think, for a certain level of insight, but that level is only going to go as deep as the average blog post on the topic, in my opinion.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Thanks for answering.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a few places that I'd love to go. Let's bring it back.
Okay.
For a moment.
I love the tangents. They're great.
Yeah. I say that money is energy, and we're a mystic millionaire, and your copy teaches people to channel that energy. What are the unseen energetics behind highly, truly converting copy? Do you have any practices or anything that you teach your clients or that you do personally that makes the copy the message magnetic?
Yeah. I love that question. When I write copy, and I think any copywriter who really enjoys the craft and is passionate about their work will tell you this, that it was almost like I was channeling when I write copy. I don't write as much as I used to, but anytime I sit down to write something, it truly does feel a bit, a bit of this like divine download. So much so that I can feel whether or not it's going to work or not. If I'm writing something that feels that I just like, don't feel in my soul is like what I'm supposed to do, or it doesn't feel aligned, or it feels forced in some way, I like looking back, I'm like, God, I wish I could call it like at that moment. But like sometimes you don't trust your intuition. You're like, why am I feeling this resistance? But I really do believe that words are energy, and especially going back to what I said earlier about how content and the way in which you connect with your audience is a major trust builder, that truly believing in what it is that you're selling literally is 80% of it. Because yes, there's formulas. Yes, there's frameworks. Yes, I teach all of those. But if you don't truly believe that what you are offering is in service to your customers, there will be an energetic imprint on that messaging that people will feel.
Yeah. And they might not know what they're picking up on.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah. So then when you're copywriting or your team's copywriting for clients, how do they get behind that? Is that part of the job, is to believe in?
Yeah, I think it's important. Like, I think oftentimes you will work on projects that maybe aren't the most exciting, right? Like, and I say this to my students all the time, like if they're just getting started, I'm like, first get paid, then get picky. Like we all can't be writing for like these dream, businesses or companies in our niche to start. Gotta start somewhere. But part of my philosophy, especially when I was a freelancer working with clients, is that if I couldn't get behind the business, if I couldn't get behind the product, if I didn't truly believe it was helpful. I mean, it might have been for like a roofing company. I never wrote copy for a roofing company, but something that's like, oh God, I have to write for a roofing company. But if I believed that it was genuinely helping people in a good service, then I could get behind it and I could really hit it out of the park. And so it became sort of part of my onboarding process with clients, is that if I just didn't feel that kind of that energetic alignment personally, I knew I wasn't going to be offering them a service that would be worthwhile for them. And it's hard to be that discerning in the beginning, especially when you are just looking for clients. But I also felt like it was sort of my duty to not amplify products that I didn't think were actually helping people.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned this to you yesterday. There was a time where marketers who had absolutely no subject matter expertise it was like the Wild West, where they were just like, oh, I'm just going to hire someone on Upwork to write me a course on fill in the blank. And then I'm going to create a pen name and a pseudonym and use a stock photo and pretend I'm this like expert on this topic. And that happened all the time.
And sell it because it was a hot topic.
Yeah, just sell it because there was demand for it. And now it's so great because now internet marketing is no longer this new thing. And there's people out there who have amazing products and services and are so deeply passionate about the work. And part of my mission is equipping them with the tools they need to really rise to the top. Because it used to be this world of like, and I would see it all the time, there would be what I called the promoters and the marketers, and then there were the subject matter experts. And the marketers were just like, oh, whatever, we don't need to know actually what it is that we're doing. As long as we can like figure out how to sell it, we'll sell it and we'll figure out the rest later. And now the subject matter experts are really rising up and they're like, I've always been deeply passionate about this work. I'm open to showing my face on video because this is me, this is my brand, this is what I do, this is my passion. And so, yeah, I think the energetics of messaging is huge. And I think people can pick up on it, which is part of why using AI to write your copy, I think, and I've had friends say this, be like, we tried it. And like at first glance, it's so like AI is so good at mimicking good copy that you look at it and you almost think it's good. But it does not take, someone at my level of copywriting with my years of experience to look at it and go, that's just kind of weirdly devoid of any emotion or meaning or anything that makes me feel anything at all, you know?
And you're picking up that it's lacking that energy. And
Yeah.
there's, yeah.
It's just generic.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's just boring, generic. No personality, nothing.
So what do we do, or what can we share about the people online who are really good at marketing and copywriting,
Yeah.
but aren't so good at getting their clients results, and specifically in the coaching and personal and professional development industry?
Yeah.
I mean, part of me is like, you know what, this season that we're in, those that aren't authentic embodiment, walking their talk, it's just going to crumble anyway. So just let it be.
Yeah.
And I felt frustration. I've talked to other
Totally.
coaches because they are really good. Like, I've bought into some things that I'm like, I can't believe I've invested in that, because this person is not at all
Yeah.
who they say they are.
Yeah. And it's so disheartening when people come to you and they lack trust in you because of a bad experience they've had with somebody else, and they're lumping you in with that experience. It is very frustrating. I think there's a couple things. Obviously, I think all customers and consumers, there needs to be a level of self-responsibility to just make sure that if you are investing in anything, any sort of coaching programs, like look for reviews, look for case studies, look for stories. The people who are really good at what they do will not try to hide that or gatekeep that information. In fact, we are blasting it all over the internet because we want to show people that we get them results. You know, and I think the challenge we're up against now, and this is more of a question that I'm posing to myself and other business owners, is now people are starting to ponder, well, how do we know if the case studies are real?
I was just thinking that.
You know, because AI could write a fake case study. And so looking for ways, like speaking to the business owners who are looking to build more trust, looking for unique ways to share your customer stories. You know, maybe it's I do live spotlight interviews where I'll invite 5 or 6 of my past students on a live call. A lot harder to fake that, you know, a lot harder to fake video. Obviously, technically AI, you know, can do video, but I think, you know, doing Zoom interviews and just kind of showing the realness and the behind the scenes, you know, the glossy photo with the testimonial beside it, you know, now it's like, you're like, well, I have no idea if that's real or not, you know? So that's one thing. But I think as customers, just doing your research, asking to see testimonials if you don't, asking to see case studies, and also being okay to take your time with it. You know, there's been a huge shift in marketing and buyer behavior where people are taking way longer to buy than they ever did. And I'm totally down for that, because I understand that you don't trust me right away, and that's okay. I will prove to you that I'm legit if you just hang out for a little while. And I'm never, as a marketer, and this is advice for other business owners and marketers, I'm never going to tell someone that if they don't buy now, they're doomed or they will never be able to buy from me again. Yes, I still do promotions and I still use scarcity, and I still, you know, people still need reasons to act, but I never want anyone to feel like if they don't act now, they've lost the opportunity, you know, and I really play the long game in my marketing. And so I think as business owners, we need to just kind of trust that. And also going back to what you said and what Bob Proctor said, which is really do believe it all comes out in the wash at the end of the day, you know, because word travels fast. And if you're not putting as much effort into your customer results and experience, or your client results and experience, as you are into your marketing, then it's only a matter of time before those scales tip and your marketing will no longer work.
Yeah. I agree. I think really giving the consumer time to make the decision is huge. And also for me, I like to invite them into our world so that they can experience it and then trust themselves in that. So we bring people into our calls so that they can hear their story for themselves, and the past clients share. But then from there, it's like, how does it feel within you? Like, trust yourself. Because I think at least I know when I've invested in something that wasn't authentic, the person was not who they said, I knew. but I was like glossed over by the fancy words or the fancy pictures of the videos.
Right.
But I knew, if I
Yeah.
followed that intuition.
Yeah, I think most people know. I think most people know for sure.
Part of it's like, I don't know, there's this like, but maybe there's a shortcut. So I'll like go over there and
Right.
buy that thing and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think too, I love what you said about like the questions I'm asking myself and the questions that I pose to other business owners now is really that, like, what can I do? Like, forget about what everyone else is doing. Yeah, it's so crazy. I always laugh when everyone's like, what's the funnel that's gonna what's the funnel that's gonna make me $1 million? And it's like, oh my God. Like, it's a funnel is nothing but some pages and some copy and an offer. There's a lot of things that need to go into a funnel working. It's not just this magical thing. To ask yourself, what can you do to create more trust? And so I love what you said about letting people preview the calls. It's like I got nothing to hide.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that you're not ready for this decision yet. So like, hey, how about this? How about you come check it out?
Yeah.
And if it's not for you, cool. I think we need to just really ask ourselves different questions when marketing our businesses, because times are changing right now. And it doesn't matter how, what kind of funnel you have, or whether it's a webinar to a book a call, or it's a opt-in to a quiz to there's it doesn't matter. It's like, just figure out how you can build more trust with your audience as quickly as possible.
Great question.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use that.
Cool.
All right. So, Alex, we've got 3 questions that I ask every guest.
Okay.
Rapid fire. You ready for them?
I'm ready.
Okay. The first question is abundance in one word. Go.
Joy.
Okay. The second is, you're on the Mystic Millionaire podcast, and we encourage you to stay in a prosperous abundance mindset. Is there something that you invest in that's a non-negotiable, a guilt-free pleasure that you can share with us that keeps you in that high vibe?
So many things, but I would say investing in experiences that bring me joy, which looks like a villa in Italy most of the time.
Okay. Oh, you just came back.
I just came back. Exactly. Yeah. And there's definitely this voice in my head that's like, it's now the best time. And you can always come up with a million reasons why.
Yeah.
And I realized that I need to follow my joy for the creativity to come through, and I need to take care of myself.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So we'll find you in Italy.
You bet.
Okay. Third question, you've got one book, only one, that you can read for the rest of your life. What is the book?
One book. Oh. Maybe The 4 Agreements.
Okay.
Yeah. That is a book that I've read so many times. And every time I read it, I'm like, of course. Like, it's like the simplest thing, but it's...
So what are they? Let's say impeccable with your word.
Yep. Don't take
things personally.
Things personally.
You're going to have to Google the
Oh
two.
my gosh. I don't remember the last 2 right now.
We're putting ourselves on the spot.
I know, we totally are. Open loop. Go find out for the...
Yeah, there you go.
Go find out the final 2. Read the book.
That's right.
I literally have it on my nightstand right now because I'm currently rereading it, and I forget what the last 2 are. Yeah. It's so simple, but especially like the don't take things personally.
Yeah.
I think we're all really good at coming up with creative reasons why something is about us, and it's usually never about us. And so it's one of those books that I need always a constant reminder.
I love the impeccable with your word because it reminds me of integrity, and integrity is such a huge value for me.
Yeah, same.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for being here.
I had so much fun.